That crap was ridiculous. So you might have finished watching ReZero's new episode a couple days ago, but I actually just watched it, a couple days late. And yes, I will share my thoughts on that episode in this a little bit, but I kind of more so want to talk about just season 2 so far, similar to how last year I did a video about Fruits Basket so far, kind of a thing. And this show's freaking insane, because ReZero's first season was something that just had a lot of insanity to it, while also having its lighthearted moments and humor and some great choreography and action, just the whole package. And that kind of set the stage for season 2, as will it live up to, just what season 1 did for me and many other people. And, well, is it? And by the way, I want to know from you not only what your thoughts are on ReZero Season 2 so far in the comments, but also who is currently best girl? And the reason I bring that up is because with the first season, it was always like, Rem is, but there's a debate between her and Amelia. Now it's just like, there's a pluffer, and Echidina, I don't know how you say it, but I'm going to say Echidina in this whole video. Yeah, there's a lot of people, but that kind of, I'm rooting for her, but I have things to say about her, and I have a lot of things to say. I don't want to talk about just the one episode, because there's just so much going on this season that is ReZero being ridiculous. There is so many, problems to solve that it just kind of kept escalating. And it starts the season off with, a big problem being Rem has lost her memories. So we need to, not her memories, but just her entire being, she doesn't really exist other than her body and what Subaru remembers. You just think that's the big dilemma, but there's so much other stuff that gets piled in this season. And it's to the point where I, as usual, just question Subaru's sanity. In the most recent episode, sure, some brief thoughts on that, but I'm telling you, this is more so like a grand scope of season 2 video. But, we see Subaru and the gang escape and, reunite with Ram and potentially best boy, best bro, I'll say. And it just kind of escalates, Garfield, or I am honestly, I can't keep track of everybody's names because there's just too many interesting characters in this show that it's so hard for me to keep track of all of their damn names. But yeah, Beast Boy, I'll just say, is trying to stop him and wrecks all these people that are trying to protect Subaru. And I have to say, this season, we don't see Subaru losing his sanity as much as the first season. There's still those moments. There's definitely still those moments. But we get to see something else. And it's not just in this episode. This episode, you see it the most prominently, I would say. But Subaru is starting to accept that he has this ability to go back when he dies. And him having to see these people sacrifice themselves to save him, to get him out of the barrier. It's like, look, he is our hero, and we have to get him to do whatever he needs to do, no matter what the cost. And he sees all these people get wiped out to save his life when he knows he just needs to die to fix it. And he goes up to accept that. And he doesn't even get to do that. But there's been so many circumstances in this season that that's been the case. Because he's not been able to tell people his ability. And that's what I'm saying. This episode was insane. But there's so much more grand scope that I want to talk about. But the rabbits were freaking insane. What can I say about the rabbits? The rabbits were just... That was the most gruesome death in this entire show. If you disagree, then I don't know. I don't know, I don't even want to say change my mind or fight me, because I just don't know. I don't understand how you could disagree with the rabbits being the most gruesome death of this show, because that shit was bonkers. Subaru has died all these times and has not been able to tell anybody about his ability, but he finally gets to tell Echidina his circumstance in this beautiful scene that I'm sure a lot of people just wanted to see me react to the rabbits and Echidina's scene at the end. But I want to kind of talk about this because, yes, it's a dramatic scene. I'll chat with you in the comments about it. That scene was amazing. There is so much stuff piled on Subaru's plate that I just don't know how he's going to hit it. One of the best episodes in this show, and to me, it's probably still maybe the greatest. It's like this episode is an equal potentially to episode 15 way back in season 1 when Subaru legitimately went insane. He like barely spoke the whole episode, and that was, I have a reaction for it on my channel. That is still potentially the greatest episode in ReZero to me, just because of the shock factor of it. And this episode didn't quite have that, but there's just, it kind of just shows all of the various shit that has been provided to us in this one season, and all of these problems for Subaru to solve in this one season that I find impossible and insane to do in this one season. We have the trials that Subaru and Amelia need to get through. We need to solve this whole sanctuary business to break the seal on that, and I guess the trials ties to that. We have Echidina, a witch of greed that is, you know, Subaru's being able to talk to, and like, what's her deal? We have, I think, again, I'm terrible with the names, Frederica, you know, I'm gonna call her Beast Girl, who she is and what her contract is and bullshit. We have sexy killer bitch that is going to murder Rem and everybody in that mansion. We have fixing Rem, you know, like, we're gonna get Rem's being back. We have Beatrice in freaking general, because Beatrice, like, she's not a witch's cult, but she has a book. Like, there's so much about just Beatrice, period. Then we have the other two sins we met at the beginning of the show that at some point Subaru has to find, you know? And now there's this whole thing about what the hell is this snow? What are these killer bunnies? Like, there is so much shit that just seems like it is hopeless. Season 1, it was insane because you were just dealing with this one threat that no matter what you do, no matter how many times you go back here, it just is not working. And he finally calms down and gets help to deal with that one thing, being the witch cultists. But in this season, there is the long list of problems that it's legitimately not only insane to consider how the hell Subaru's going to deal with it all, but it's insane as a viewer to think, is all of this going to happen over season 2? Or how long game? Like, we still have the election to eventually get back to. As much as I could just do a video about this one episode, which was a great episode, it's honestly, like, this episode and the Parents episode were hands down the two best episodes of season 2 of ReZero. I don't know of the whole show, but they're up there. But this entire season just giving Ram a lot more screen time. Ram has had so much screen time this season. That's freaking awesome, because I've always said she's an underrated girl character, whatever. She's awesome. I'm glad she's getting so much more screen time. But we're seeing and dealing with so much this season that I was not anticipating this. It started off so slow with just, you know, okay, let's fix Ram and go over to the sanctuary to grab the villagers and leave. But it just developed into so many plot lines that I actually wonder, is this a good or a bad thing? Because I'm severely entertained, and I'd love to know if you are or aren't. But the thing I'm driving at here is that I wonder if it's almost too much. You know, you look at Spider-Man 3, you look at, I don't know, other movies and stories and games and shit where they just think there's too many plot lines happening at once. I almost feel like that is the case here. Like, it's not bugging me yet. You know, it's not bugging me yet, but I feel like there is a lot we are juggling. And I almost completely forgot that there was a sexy killer bitch that was going to murder Rem and the mansion and everybody there. And because there's just so much other shit that's going on that makes me forget about it. So what's the point of this video? What am I getting at? My point is that ReZero Season 2 is bloody insane in every way. It starts off really slow, and we still got like probably 6 episodes before they cut it off and say part 2 sometime, probably late 2021. But it's just, I don't see how we could wrap all this up in the one season. This is a jam-packed season with a ton of problems to hit all at once. There's multiple trials. We've only done the first trial, and there's still all the problems I listed earlier. Sexy bitch, Rem coming back, Beatrice. There's just so much. There's just so much this season. I don't know how they're gonna wrap it up. If you'd like to know my thoughts on the other best episode of this series, well, it's actually season, you can see that to the side. I don't know which direction, but click there. And first time here, consider subscribing to Westside Otaku, in which I like to geek out with you about anime. But please leave me your thoughts, because this show's bloody insane. That's it. That's the point of this video.